Have you ever given someone everything, your heart, your energy, your loyalty, only to feel completely invisible? You're always there, forgiving, understanding, patiently waiting for them to finally see your worth. But somehow, the more you give, the further away they drift. Now here's a truth most don't see coming. Most men chase validation. They cling to those who don't appreciate them, hoping, wishing, waiting. But the Stoic man, he chooses something far more powerful: self-respect. He doesn't argue, he doesn't beg. He walks away quietly, calmly, with strength, because he knows his value doesn't depend on anyone's recognition. So ask yourself this, honestly: how much longer will you stay where you're not valued? Today, you have a choice to become the unshakable man, a man who commands respect, not with noise, but with quiet confidence and unshakable self-worth. Imagine how it would feel to finally stand tall, knowing that your presence is a privilege, not a guarantee. Thousands of men who've embraced the Stoic path now live free from emotional dependency, filled with clarity, confidence, and respect. So, are you ready to reclaim your power, to transform your life from the inside out? Start this journey right now. Hit that subscribe button. And before we go further, drop a 1 in the comments if you've ever felt unseen in a relationship, or a 2 if you're finally choosing yourself. But be warned, what you're about to hear might just change the way you see relationships forever. First, they never thought you'd actually leave. You know what? In the beginning, they never truly believed you'd walk away. They thought it was just words, empty threats. They figured, no matter how distant, how cold, how careless they became, you'd still stay. They got used to your presence, took your loyalty for granted, assumed you weren't really going anywhere. But then, one day, you did. You actually left. And that's when the panic hit. Why? Because people rarely value what they believe will always be there. As long as you stayed, there was no urgency to change, no reason to reflect, no fear of loss. They assumed you'd keep tolerating it, keep forgiving, keep holding it all together. But then, something shifted. You went silent. You stopped chasing, stopped explaining, stopped hoping. And for the first time, they felt something they never expected. Fear. A deep, gnawing fear of losing you for good. Not just missing you, not just sadness, but a sinking realization. They might have just lost someone irreplaceable, because now they see it clearly. Your love, your energy, your patience, it was never guaranteed. It was a gift, and they wasted it. Not everyone brings the kind of light you brought. Not everyone stays when it hurts. But you did, for as long as you could. And now that you're gone, there's a silence they can't fill, an emptiness they weren't ready for. Because what you gave, it meant something. Like Epictetus once said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And you chose grace. You chose stillness. You chose you. You walked away quietly, not for revenge, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. You gave chances, you bent, you waited, but in the end, you chose peace. Now they're the ones reflecting. They're the ones wondering. They're the ones regretting. And this isn't the silent treatment. It's not punishment. It's a decision, a declaration. You're done staying where you're not seen. You're done giving your heart to people who don't know what to do with it. You're done fighting to matter. If you've ever felt this, if you've ever chosen to walk away from where you weren't appreciated, say it loud, say it proud, say it for you. I'm no longer in the place where they left me. Second, your distance was the wake-up call. You tried. You really tried. You explained. Gently, honestly. You told them how much it hurt, how much you were hurting. You gave them chance after chance. Not because you were weak, but because you believed in the connection. You hoped they'd finally see your worth. But then, you stopped talking. You stopped reaching. You went silent. And that silence, it hit them like a wave. Unexpected, unavoidable, loud, in a way words could never be. Because as long as you were still texting, still replying, still showing up, they thought they still had a grip on you. Even the smallest response gave them hope. That maybe, just maybe, you were still waiting, still hoping, still trying. But now, no messages, no reactions, no trace of them in your world. And that's when the confusion set in. That's when the fear crept in. Because the human mind, it fears uncertainty, and you didn't leave with drama. No big goodbye, no last words, just gone. And that, it terrified them. Why? Because deep down, they believed they could treat you any kind of way, and you'd still stay. But your silence, it shattered that illusion. You stayed quiet to keep the peace. You made yourself small so they'd feel big. You swallowed your pain again and again just to protect the connection. But now the tables have turned. Your silence is no longer about hurt. It's not about giving up. It's a declaration. I deserve better, and I'm done settling for less. Your distance became the wake-up call they never saw coming. It screamed, you're not a backup plan. You're not a just-in-case. You're the prize. Remember when they held all the power? You were the one waiting, wondering, wishing. Now they are. And that shift, it terrifies them. But this isn't a game. This isn't payback. This isn't about making anyone hurt. It's about you, finally reclaiming your power. You chose you, and the moment you walked away, you sent a message louder than any fight, longer than any text. I will not stay where I am not valued. And that message? It's haunting them now. If you're on this path of choosing yourself, drop this in the comments as your truth. I'm no longer in the place that made me feel small. Third, they no longer control you. They used to think they had control, that they could come and go as they pleased, give you just enough to keep you hooked, but never enough to make you feel safe, or seen, or fully loved. They made the rules. They played the game. They decided when to show up and when to disappear. But not anymore, because the moment you walked away, you took the power back. Now they're the ones watching, checking your profile, lurking on your stories, wondering where you are, who you're with, what you're doing, not because they suddenly care deeply, but because they know they've lost control. It's psychology, perceived control. When people feel like they're in control, they're comfortable, confident. But the second that illusion crumbles, panic, anxiety, desperation. Think back. How many times did you wait for their message? How many nights did you lie awake, replaying conversations, wondering what you did wrong? How often did you bite your tongue, hide your hurt, just to keep them close? And now, everything's flipped. Your silence, your independence, it's shaking them, because they feel it now. They no longer have the power to sway your emotions. They can't guilt you, can't gaslight you, can't pull you back in. You're no longer the one holding on. You're no longer chasing someone who made you feel like too much and never enough. Now you hold the power. And that truth, it scares them. But let's be clear, this isn't revenge. This isn't manipulation. This is you standing up for your peace, your worth, your self-respect. You're done living in anyone's shadow. And when you walked away, you sent a message they can't unhear. I no longer make room in my life for people who don't value me. And that message, it's echoing in their mind. If you're learning to take back your life, piece by piece, step by step, leave this in the comments as your bold truth. I'm no longer the one being controlled. Fourth, they can't find your energy in anyone else. They might act fine. They might pretend they've moved on. They might smile, laugh, post like nothing's missing. But deep down, they know something irreplaceable is gone. Because what you gave wasn't just time, wasn't just presence. It was genuine kindness. It was quiet, unwavering support. It was the way you saw them, like no one ever had. You made them feel understood, heard, appreciated, even when they did nothing to deserve it. But now, you're gone, and they're out there, searching, reaching, trying to recreate that same feeling with someone else. But no one matches your energy. No one brings that soft fire you did. And that feeling, that ache, it's not random. It's real. It's something called the scarcity principle. When something rare disappears, it becomes immeasurably valuable. And your energy? It was rare. Now they see, it can't be copied, it can't be replaced. It can't be found in the next swipe, the next date, the next distraction. Think back, you gave them everything, even when they gave you almost nothing. You were there every time they needed you. Even when they vanished the moment you did. You loved, you waited, you hoped. And in return, you got indifference, you got silence, you got used. But now, the roles have flipped. They are the ones who feel the lack. They are the ones searching, and they're realizing something terrifying. What they had with you, they won't find anywhere else. Remember those days? When you were the one checking in, the one holding on, the one clinging to the connection. Now they're the ones feeling lost, and that shakes them. But again, this isn't revenge. This isn't some power play. This is you choosing yourself. You reclaimed your worth. Not with words, but with absence. By quietly walking away from a place where you were never fully valued. And in that moment, you sent a message clearer than any confrontation. I no longer give my energy to people who don't appreciate it. And now, that message, it haunts them. If you've ever given your love, your presence, your soul, and finally chose to come back home to yourself, drop this in the comments as a sacred reminder. My energy is precious, and I don't give it to those who don't deserve it. Fifth, they're stuck in the past, but you've moved on. When you were still there, they didn't see you. They didn't recognize your worth. They took your love for granted. Your kindness, your care, your constant presence. They assumed it would always be there. They thought you'd always stay. But now, you're gone. No drama, no explosion, just silence. And now, they're stuck, frozen in the past. Replaying your last words, hearing your voice in quiet rooms, missing the way you showed up when no one else did. They miss the way you loved them, without conditions, without demands, just purely. But that emptiness they feel now, it has nothing to do with you anymore, because you've moved on. They're trapped in the echo of what was, while you've stepped into what's next. There's a word for this. Psychologists call it the halo effect. It's when people suddenly see the beauty in what they lost, after it's gone, too late. Now they idealize you, they romanticize the memories, but not because they've changed, because they can't have you anymore. Think about it. You gave them everything, and all you wanted in return was effort, respect, something real. Instead, you got the bare minimum. You waited. You loved. You hoped they'd realize your worth. And now, they do. But you're already gone. They're the ones filled with regret. They're the ones replaying memories at night, because now they know your love was once in a lifetime, and they lost it. Remember the old days? You were the one wondering, do I even matter to them? Now they're asking that question, and that feeling, that helplessness, it terrifies them. But this isn't retaliation. This isn't you trying to hurt them. This is you finally loving yourself. You didn't scream. You didn't beg. You just walked away. And that quiet exit spoke volumes. You sent a message that will echo in their mind forever. I no longer give my heart to those who don't value it. And that truth follows them every day. If you've ever poured your soul into someone only to find your own heart breaking, and you've finally chosen yourself, say this with your whole spirit in the comments. I'm not an option, I'm the prize. So here we are, at the end of a journey that brought pain, yes, confusion, heartache, doubt, but also clarity, strength, and a truth you'll carry with you forever. You didn't walk away in silence because you were weak, number. You walked away because you were finally strong enough to stop staying where you weren't appreciated. At first, they didn't believe you'd really leave. They were used to the old version of you, patient, forgiving, always understanding. But then something changed. You got quiet. You stopped playing their emotional games. You stopped justifying, stopped explaining, stopped begging to be seen. And in that silence, everything shifted. The one who once held the power. They became the one in panic, the one who used to be waited on. They became the one filled with regret. Because your distance was the wake-up call they never expected. Your absence spoke louder than anything you could have said. You sent a clear, undeniable message. I no longer accept less than I deserve. And that message, it landed like thunder. They began to realize they could no longer control your emotions, no longer twist your thoughts, no longer reach inside you and pull strings, and worst of all, they couldn't find your energy in anyone else. They looked, but they couldn't replicate the kindness, the patience, the deep, sincere love you once gave so freely, because your energy was one of a kind, and now that you're gone, they're left with echoes, with memories, with regret. But you didn't seek revenge. You didn't lash out. You didn't carry resentment. You simply returned to yourself. Because this journey, it was never about making someone else hurt. It was about healing you. It was about remembering who you are. It's a story of growth, of self-respect, of a soul who finally said, no more. No more shrinking. No more settling. No more fighting to matter in places that refuse to see your light. You are no longer an option. You are the prize. And the saddest truth of all, they only realized it once you were long gone. Listen to me. You didn't lose anything. They did. You weren't left behind. You chose to step away. And that's not failure. That's a win. Because right now, you've reclaimed your energy. You've rediscovered your strength. And most importantly, you're making room for someone who truly values you. So let them panic. Let them regret. Let them sit with the consequences of their choices. As for you, your job is simple. Keep living, keep growing, keep moving forward, and keep protecting your inner peace like something sacred. Because one day, they'll look back and realize losing you was when everything in their life started falling apart. But by then, you'll be too far gone to look back. And the best part, you won't even care anymore. If this video touched your heart, hit like, subscribe to Stoic Station, and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss another reminder of your true worth. And always remember this, deep in your soul, you're not a backup plan, you're the prize. See you in the next episode. Stay strong, you're on the right path.